hello everybody, and welcome on back. So, we were talking about, in my idea, or my theory, or my thinking, the main pinpointable reason that there is murder or death in this, human inflicted death, directly, indirectly, intentionally, unintentionally. Well, I guess then it's like directly, but anyways, is because we see someone as less than human. That's it. In some way, or we somehow are able to justify that they are not a human, or at least a good human. They were a bad guy. Oh, at least it was just criminals. Like, no. I mean, that was someone's son, daughter, in between, like, child. There you go. Sorry, I was trying to think of like a nondescript. Anyways. And that gets kind of hairy. As a parent, I do worry about that a little bit. Just like having the full conversation and the discussion and understanding in a pleasant manner, too. Sorry, talking about gender ideology and all that. Ooh, and identity. Sorry, yeah. Anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about dehumanizing law enforcement. So that's an overlooked side of this whole thing. Now, granted, and I do have a lot of friends that probably spit out their soda, milk, water. Hopefully, they're not drinking that devil's sweat. Oh no, it's the blood of Christ. Sorry, alcohol. I'm just kidding. So, and again, that poor Pope, I do feel bad, and I feel like that's why one of my uncles might have reached out to me because he's pretty big in the church, which is fine. Like he's still understanding of things, and Lord knows he's bent a few rules in his day. So a lot of alcohol, but because it's the blood of Christ, it's okay. In Christianity, it's okay. But let's get back to law enforcement. So, oh, that cop, that pig, whatever. We dehumanize law enforcement a lot of times without even thinking about it. Oh, why don't you go catch a donut or something? Like things like that. It's just as bad as the racism the other way. Only the thing is you're upsetting somebody that has control over your immediate future. Like, it could be your life too. But I mean, keepers of the peace or whatever they want to call them, law enforcement, they're enforcing the law so that the peace for the greater good is better, is more secure. Especially with the DUIs too. I was talking about that last episode and how even I had a buddy who had a cop chuckle and say, "You should have waited an hour." Like that. Trying to make light of an uncomfortable situation, telling this person, hey, guess what? I'm taking you to jail now. So this girl that you're trying to take home and protect, like, and actually, now that I think about it, I think it was like one of our other friends, like girlfriends or whatever. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people they hung out with that I wasn't too familiar with, but the point is he wasn't trying to get laid. Like, he was just trying to help this girl. So it was, and that's the audacity of it. Is like, you catch someone doing that, and I don't know if the cop offered to give her a ride home. I don't think so. I mean, he was taking him to jail. Maybe though, that would have been cool, and I would like to see if that actually happened. Because if that was the case, then because there was other people at the house, although probably not now that I think about it, because then there's the liability of if he took, if the police officer took the drunk lady, drunk girl, whatever. Sorry, try not to identify people in an offensive way, and I like to think that the people listening to these things understand where I'm coming from, but you can't assume. You can't assume anything. So. Um, Yeah, in fact, I got to remember, I'm going to try to make a short of how I started off the last episode. I started watching, I was like, yes, that right there. Like, the only reason we have murder and death in the world is because, I mean, and it's easy to be able to pinpoint it because then you actually know what you're trying to fix, what you're trying to solve. Like, if you're able to define the problem of why do we have people that cease to be, that no longer live, going to the Monty Python about the dead parrot, like, if we want to stop that or at least prevent it, cut back on it. Um, then that's one of the first steps you got to do is you got to identify, well, so how does this happen? Well, a lot of death by cop, and we talked about that in quite length, but also cop death. Like cops can get killed, and it's even like they're on edge a lot of the times because they never know. I mean, and even if it's just stories or or the hard facts of, in fact, I know it's not just stories because I do have some cop buddies on the socials, and like I see when they have the badge with the black tape, and I look at it and like, the end of watch for somebody. In fact, one person, I think she has her dad still, his end of watch. Anyways, my point being is it's dangerous to be a police officer. It's dangerous to be a pig, a cop, whatever. And see, right there, I just casually threw that out there, and a lot of people say that when they're frustrated, like, and they're the face of it, like they're the ones giving you the ticket or for whatever, DUI, speeding, it can go real ugly real quick. And it depends on that cop's mood, how much food that cop ate that day. Is he or she hydrated or are they hydrated? There you go. See, easier because I don't have to like take the time to explain that. But anyways, you know, and actually I'm dehydrated. Hold on. As you can see, all these driplets dropping down, the droplets dripping. Ah, I keep noticing that that's still, at least I guess I could tell that that's the first floor for now. And then I need to cover these up. We'll see what I want to do with those. Mm. I was also going to try to pay attention to the ratio of like if the sunlight affected the melon growth. Because I want to say it doesn't matter once they're full. Like maybe there's a relation. I'd have to look at the code to know for sure. Or I could time it and like, oh, that would be getting, it's more doable, but still some work. Like timing this down. I mean, I could also look it up. That's the easiest thing. I could Google it and then like rely on people, stand on the shoulders of people that have already done it to tell. Yep, and Waddles is great for that. Waddles, I was watching his one of his videos or one of Waddles' videos the other day. There you go. Trying to respect. See right there, it causes so much friction and awkwardness and anger and emotions too. So you're talking law enforcement. You get pulled over by a cop. Say you're speeding, and especially if you're in Buena Vista, you can get pulled over and ticketed. Oh wait, wait, wait. Get out of here. Okay, what do you have? Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, and I don't need anything repaired, so let's go ahead and do that. Um, that's all. Did any of them get trampled? All right. That was a clean preventative measure. Yeah, that was murder still, but and death of two llamas too. And thankfully there is a distinction with that because judging or convicting somebody for killing like a cow, America would all be in prison for life. Like yeah. And maybe not me personally, but definitely like partake in like or enabling or contributing whatever, like funding. Every time you buy a hamburger or cheeseburger or whatever, like I almost stopped by Runza today because I was gonna go get a. Oh, they got these great mushroom burgers down there. Oh, yeah, number 7 Mountain Dew onion rings. There it is. Whew. Sorry, so much personally identifying information. They used to have a runs up in Fort Collins, but now it's just down in Loveland. And I think they have an In-N-Out down there, which sucks because my sister and I are talking about that. She hates In-N-Out. Like every time they build one, like I guess the one in Denver, like it's just super busy around there, and like to certain people, especially people that are from California, which we have a lot of those, we're probably just like, oh, this is an okay calculable wait, like that's fine, it's worth it. And then, whereas like it's unheard of here to wait in line that long, like especially that frequently too. And so I guess you could say they might be potentially jaded to it. Whereas like a lot of Coloradans are like, ew, gross. Like I'm not gonna sit there for that long for this. And like I wouldn't do that for Runza. I mean, I'm not that crazy about it. Like if it's busy, I'd be like, meh, maybe another day. Like that's fine. But you know, I don't know. And it's kind of sad too because those are people you're talking about, Californians, Coloradans, whatever. It's like somebody that has the experience to where that's an acceptable threshold of waiting and being, a customer. Like, phew, that would not fly in Colorado, and I don't want it to ever fly. Like, if we get so packed to the point where that's acceptable, oh, that's just gross. Sorry, I'm just no, thank you. But and actually, and we're still preventing against that. Like, just by doing a lot more remote work, like we have a lot less commuting traffic. Like we still have a lot, mind you, and there are still times, like especially like quitting time around like, or even like on the hour every hour. I feel like for a university town or college town, like Fort Collins, definitely, like traffic is heavier, especially if you're around campus. Now, if you're farther from campus, you might have a ripple effect of it. Like it might just be slightly busier because of that. But I mean, and then emotions are gonna be higher too. Like, God, when I used to go out for lunch and like try to drive somewhere, it was nuts. Like, no, thank you. And like, I don't know. I work remote and hybrid. Sorry, yeah, I do hybrid. So like, I still commute a lot, but then at the same time, there's a lot more time where I'm just chilling at home. Like, and I actually get a lot more done when I'm working from home. Just because like I don't have to spend any of the energy or the time or the effort or frustrations of like, okay, got to get dressed fully. Like, I mean, it's not like I'm naked because I do a lot of Zoom calls like from the waist down, but I'm wearing like shorts or something, like gym shorts or pajamas or like, I mean, still have a decent shirt, so I'm presentable, but I'm IT, so it's like, you know, yeah, like my predecessor used to wear like Boba Fett shirt, I think was one of the ones that he trained me in, and I loved it. But then again, he was on the way out, so like, but yeah, whew, great guy. Anyways, again, not doxing ourselves, and at the end of the day, I feel like I should say the disclaimer. Like, at any given moment, I could be being looked at by several alphabet agencies, both for good and bad reasons. Primarily, whenever you take a security class or you become certified, and same with a license to carry a concealed firearm, which we do a lot of classes up here. Not me, I don't have such a license, but um, I could probably also kill you with my hands. Like, I mean, sorry, just like saying like the weapon, sure, and these hands don't need to be registered, but like I do have official training for that as well. So like they're not. Anyways, that got way too left. Anybody can accidentally go all the way, and there's a lot of reasons you don't need to actually kill anybody. Sorry, I'm talking all like Chuck Norris kung fu stuff. I did do kung fu for a while, but that, I mean, anyways. I also spend every other day in the gym, a good solid workout. And that's important too. It doesn't matter if you're lifting like 300, 400 pounds or whatever. Like, no, it matters if you're just consistent. The body requires maintenance, physical and mental. And yeah, that right there, that's actually very profound. Also, I feel like we're losing. I mean, I know I killed one villager over there, but like this seems normal. We need to get some more food. Oh, it was almost morning anyway. Oh, it looked like. So let's see. Let's get some more up to. I guess I've already been. No, I guess I gotta look for. There we go. Oh, no, I clicked the wrong one. You. Wait, really? Journeyman? Farmer? And also, journeyman would mean human if we did the human, them, and women move. But, alright, well, let's make him a master. We grant you the rank of master. Bada bing. I guess you granted yourself? I don't know. You traded enough to make that. That makes sense. You got enough experience to where you're now a master in your craft. And some of these others are still learning, but they come to work. And so the beds wouldn't be here in the real community like project plan. Like you could still, if you could put up like even paper thin walls and make them like half as big. And I almost want to do that, but then it kind of makes it harder. Well, I don't know, actually. You know what? We'll move the black faction out. Okay, okay. Also, hmm. So now they're three apart, so twice as big. Now let's put the new ones down. I was also thinking about color coding it, but I don't know. That's getting a bit too into the weeds, too down that rabbit hole. Let's just do that. So every three, we get a bed. Okay. So this would be more realistic. And if we put walls, we could even put dividers. There you go. And they could be here just for a temporary time. Like these could be journey people. Well, journeymen. It was a journey human that came and goes. Like, I don't know. If you just kind of start blending terms and stuff and understanding of certain things, I mean, it makes a lot more possible. Always within the law. And even Fort Collins proper has ordinances. Like, you can't throw cardboard in the trash. You could get a ticket. You could get a fine. In fact, you will. I mean, that's an easy hit. Like, wait a minute. You're just throwing that cardboard box now. I think if it's not recyclable, salvageable. Although now I say that, oof, like pizza boxes. I don't know, cardboard. Well, anyways. So, I don't remember the last time I've had a greasy pizza box. So, but I know when I worked at Subway, we were instructed not to throw the cardboard in the trash because it was illegal. And so there's a lot of judgment call on that. So like, and even the recycling center will probably throw out a lot of that, but you don't know that, and they might, and that might be old news too. But it's been found out that, and I have looked into this, like there's a large percentage of trash or recycled stuff that doesn't get recycled. Now that could be for multiple reasons. Like it could be, it doesn't fit the criteria to begin with, even in good condition, but or it could be it's so dirty or contaminated or ruined beyond repair that it's not cost efficient to do it. So you're actually using up more resources to process that piece of trash, whereas you just need to trash it. So, and it's an acceptable loss for now, and we're constantly getting better about stuff like that. I was also talking to somebody in a climate change group on the LinkedIn, which I hate doing LinkedIn because that's your professional profile. But I mean, oh, now YouTube, I can speak my mind quite a bit and hopefully not offend anybody to the point where they would. I mean, even if I offend you, let me know, and we can talk about it. We can try to figure it out because a lot of times it's a miscommunication. Because if you understand it in the way that I am trying to communicate it, it shouldn't be offensive. Now, as I say that, and like with the recent respect to Israel and Gaza, I have said some pretty short, like opinions about that, and not trying to offend anybody, but it's just it's a dire situation. All places where people are getting killed is a dire situation. Doesn't matter what the reason. So, in a purely white hat world, in a purely global sense, it's all got to stop. So we got to come to terms with everything, all of it. And we do that by getting, prickly conversations out in the open. Religion, politics, understanding each other, understanding why people are doing these things they're doing or making the decisions they are. And a lot of that's already happening as leadership is being transitioned to the younger generations. And I know, I voted for Biden. I'll vote for him again. I support him. But at the same time, like, it'll be nice once we get like an AOC in the White House or, someone who hasn't been in politics for like 30 years and had to been part of the necessary evils of politics too. Like trying to be bipartisan, which is great. Obama was too. And Clinton, like the last few Democratic presidents were pretty bipartisan. And I want to say Republican too, but George W. just, I don't know. And I can't say with a good opinion or good authority because I didn't know politics back then. I knew my feelings and emotions about it as far as the facts, and then even just like the possibility of like conspiracy or scandal or whatever, like the 9/11 thing. Like if that turns out to be true, and again, South Park has an episode where it like plays hopscotch with the line of, was it the government? Was it, this and that? Like, and who knows? But it did have Dick Cheney shoot someone with an arrow. Like, and so, which in real life, and for those that don't know, Dick Cheney was the vice president of George Bush Jr. And during the 9/11 time when the whole Iraq war started, so maybe you do know Dick Cheney if you're from another country or something, but the dude shot someone when they were out hunting like pheasant or grouse or something. And like this was a recreational activity. They just took the guns out, which actually a lot of people in Saudi do this too. Like they have a lot of guns out there. Um, so I was watching a video of one of my roommates with the wedding when they were just like all shooting these guns off at this hill. It was awesome. It looked just like a redneck thing that I would do. Like, it was very cool to see that. Like, they're very similar to us because they're humans too. And as I say that, people are like, well, no, no, duh. Like, yeah, of course. But when you say it that way, otherwise, when you say it, oh, the Hamas or oh, the Israelites or oh, or Israelis, I guess. Sorry, I think that was the more biblical identification of people from Israel, which there hasn't even been in Israel for a long time. And that's kind of like, I think one of the best arguments I saw was, or the best things I saw was on Facebook, and it showed, or no, it was someone talking and like just kind of laying out the facts. Like Israel hasn't been an Israel nation for a long time. It was way back in the day, but it changed owners, changed residents several times, and so now they want to come have their house back. If you think about it that way, well, there's people living there, so it'd be like in modern day times, like if I walked down the street and said I used to live here, get out. That's about the gist of it, which I still feel like they deserve it. They deserve to be able to move back into their home because they were forcefully kicked out so many times. So if you think about it even more macro, sorry, like broaden the scale. Like, so the original, I mean, I don't know, like the Native Americans. We got them on reservations now. I feel like we should have a lot more, like a whole state dedicated to like, hey, you know, this is for well, but then you're kicking people out too, so it's a little harder to do. I don't know, so it's a little trickier. Well, okay, why not? Like, why don't we allow for the natives to take back their land? Well, oof, that's awkward. I mean, it's not going to happen. Same with so with like Israel kind of coming in with Palestine, and I don't have any like actual information on what demographic of who identified as this or that, where at. So I wouldn't know what would even seem fair. So I can't really make good decisions. Um, some people are probably out there like, well, yeah, yeah, this is a bad decision to even talk about it. But no, if you think about it, like in the grand scheme of things, like the violence, we need to stop the violence all around. I mean, for whatever political reason, we can hash things out. Like, and we should do exactly that. They should have a lot of hash, a lot of cannabis, and they should figure it out. So to do that, I've also been working on a letter to the Saudi government. Oh, that sounds so ridiculously like mental health concerns. Mm. No, and like I've tried to explain to some people, and I think most people get it now, but like, because people were concerned in the past, but no, the idea is if you can convince them to lessen up their laws on cannabis use, then it is exactly like the Bob Marley song lyric, or and I don't even know the specific ones. Like, the whole world needs to just calm down, relax, and cannabis really helps with that. I mean, it's not the ultimate solution. Like, if we could just stop killing each other for a while and like, work out good business deals and everybody in communication, a lot of times not be hungover. And see, that's the thing. A lot of people celebrate and worry with alcohol. So then you got to have the hangover effect and, you know, like it's all bad. It's just choosing which bad to do or which, how you want to celebrate or do that. Like, I feel like if the Continental Congress was held today, Ben Franklin would be, having a big fat doobie and like, yeah, and there'd be women too. Like, there would be women involved. There would be Betsy Franklin or Brittany Franklin. There you go. I was trying to think of a more common sounding name. Sorry. Yeah, we'd have Brittany Franklin here, and not a transgender Brittany Franklin. Or maybe could, but like no, like the actual Ben. Like some people are like gonna be losing their mind over that comment right there. Sorry, just imagining my friends back home. Like, what, Brittany? What the heck? In fact, I have a group chat with a few of my buddies. Sorry, I'm gonna mess with them. Uh, So we send each other some messed up stuff every now and then. Political too. They send me a bunch of like Sleepy Joe, Crooked Joe stuff, and like, so I send them Trump stuff, Trumpelstiltskin, like, some pretty messed up stuff. And I was just thinking like, anyways, what were we even talking about? Peace in the Middle East. A cross-dressing founding father. I think I hear my neighbors. I gotta stop laughing so hard. But seriously, that's all we need. My voice does carry. Anyways, and this is my reality. Like, I have a lot of friends from Buena Vista. Some still live up there, and like we talk about politics every now and then. It does get a little heated, but at the end of the day, we know like the other people, they're coming from a good place, but like we definitely disagree on politics. So that's fine. You can disagree with people and still have them in your life. You just need to establish what's okay. Like, I mean, which we did. I almost like went physical with this one. Challenging him to an MMA fight. So if you have it sanctioned, or if you cross all the T's and dot all the I's, you can physically assault someone if they consent to it. But you have to do it right. You can't have a fight club. I believe that is still illegal. And whenever in doubt, look it up. Like, that's kind of like my white hat thing of saying, like, if you ever think you're gonna break a rule or a law, look it up. In fact, let's do that right now. The Colorado Larimer County Cardboard Regulations. Also, wait, where are we at? Did I? Okay, no, I've been talking for 20 minutes. I was like, did I remember to set an alarm? Is this the beginning of a video? No. Um, but the cardboard ordinance of Larimer County, and I think that goes for let's see, Can you throw away greasy pizza boxes? Fort Collins. Collins. There we go. And Google says while Fort Collins municipal code bans the landfill disposal of cardboard, items that can't be recycled, such as greasy pizza boxes, are excluded. Whew. Okay, good, because I just threw away a pizza box like yesterday. Sorry. Oh, and even I touched a cactus too. It's like bad A-Rye. Yeah, I did. I went to Totally 80s Pizza, and awesome place, best pizza. I'm gonna do a Google review. I'm getting into that now, but like, the owner's name is Alex as well, so that's cool. But and I've met him. Like he worked in there a while. It looks like he's got some staff there though, because I didn't see him the last time I was there. But which is good because he was hiring for the longest time. And they added tips to cards now, which is huge. A lot of places like it's kind of a toss-up, and I always like to leave a buck, like even if it's to carry out or something like that. I used to think it was weird when I used to work at a pizza place, and like people would come in and they maybe tip a buck or something, but then a lot of times it'd be like zero tips because I mean, thank you for doing your job. Like do I have to tip or like dessert? Oh, and Viva La Dirt League does a really good video about that where it's like tipping. Oh, and Hamish comes in and he has to tip like 50 bucks for a $10 or $20 cable, and he flips out because you want to be polite and you don't want to like be rude. But at what point? So I say like a buck or two. I mean, it depends on how I'm feeling that day. Depends on how I'm feeling financially too. Like, if I'm still waiting for payday for something, and I do a lot. I'm still paycheck to paycheck, even though I got a good job. Like I feel like everyone's like one or two bad paychecks away or missed paychecks away from being homeless. So, and I feel that. Like, luckily I have family I can move in with, but if I didn't, I'd be on Skid Row, which is actually more like Mason Place if you qualify. If you commit a crime, you could go to the halfway house. Like, if you commit a crime, you could go to jail, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do. Like, or there's a decent amount of people, at least there was back in like 10 years ago. But see, I don't know. I haven't talked to a lot of people even from back home in like the capacity of Department of Corrections. So like understanding recent prison stuff. I mean, and my family's been removed from it for quite a while, so on both sides of the bars. uh, anyways, so because I mean, it used to be we had a boot camp up in Buena Vista, and it was awesome. Like nonviolent offenders would be able to get a or get a reduction in their sentence, time off their sentence for going to a military style boot camp. Now, and it built character, and it was run by people that actually had hands-on experience with boot camps, either military or even current military. There's some people up there that were active duty and then they would get called away for certain periods of time, and then they'd come back, and then their off time or their downtime, they'd be working at the prison. So yeah, we even had like a pretty close knit relationship with military too that way, and like a look in. So I mean, and I'll say it again, I did not make it in myself, but my dad was, a few of my uncles. Oh, it's starting to get cold. Good thing we're almost done with this episode. I'm gonna go get some like. Actually, I gotta go do some laundry. Responsibilities. Well, that's cool. And like I said, I've been making it to the gym more often. So it doesn't matter if you can lift a ton. Just make sure you're consistent to where you're healthy. And I need to start running again. Like, is that like an 8-minute mile the other day? That's okay. I mean, well, that's good. I mean, 10-minute mile is even good. Especially if you're like doing a 10K and there's like about six of them miles there. Be easy. It'd be 10 kilometers. We just have to adjust for that if we went with metrics. And there's the alarm. I did work for a company, a wind turbine blade company, a production company in Windsor that worked all in metrics. It was awesome. And so I'd be like a few millis off. Throw me a couple of millis like for tolerance. You could build it with the precise specifications of. It was usually about like 3 to 10 millimeters, depending on what it was. I mean, a lot of it was 1 to 3, but then like for certain things, like the overlap of the construction, 10 millimeter tolerance was. And they tested this. Like they had it scientifically down to like observed repeated tests that the wind turbine blade is more likely to break if there's this or and not even that like there's well I guess break complications even but still then you notice it repair or whatever. Uh, I digress. That's this episode. I'm starting to chitter chatter. Oh wait, we got 10 seconds. Well, ta ta for now. I'll see you in the next one.